YouTube's going live.
Yep.
TikTok's
We're
on.
live. We're all live.
Let's go, baby.
We're doing it. Here we are.
Another week.
Week five of the Birds Breakdown. And I tell you, sometimes I get all excited to come and do these shows. Other times I'm not as excited. Just they said some of these losses. This loss, I was excited to come talk to you guys about it.
I would agree with you. I was juiced too.
It was a frustrating day yesterday. The drive home was okay. And I tell you, for all you Pittsburgh fans, as I look at my other place, you guys can do all the hate you want, all the things you want to bap. Your team ain't so hot. You better fix your defense if you want to try to win your division, because you guys got a couple of other good teams in your division. We haven't got it all together yet, but the Ravens and the Browns seem to have it a little bit better. So all that hate that I got from all those Steeler fans, I'm talking to you. Guess what? You better fix your stuff before you even start coming at me. Anyways, good job on winning last night.
I was going to ask you how your trip was. Shit.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and we'll get into that in a minute. But let's definitely, we got to do our opening here. Yeah, of course, we are at Tonic Seafood and Steak. It's a beautiful place down here. I would love to see people. It's a little dreary out today, so I can understand. Especially after the loss. After the loss yesterday, I can't imagine people wanted to come out in this rain. This is the hurricane that came through. So it's been a little windy and stuff like that. But anyways, and so we also are sponsored by Wi-Fi, gluten-free, awesome internet. Philly Sports Trips. You want to go to Dallas? Find their trips at phillysports.com. And then King Creative. Every story has an audience. Let the Blue Lion tell yours. I tell you. So, I don't know. I was figuring you guys probably heard me yesterday because there wasn't a lot of people in the stands. So
I saw you. I saw
you
a little bit.
See, I didn't get.
I was looking.
I didn't get a lot of that yesterday. So normally when they show me on television, people start texting me. I didn't get any texts yesterday. So
they didn't directly show you, but they showed the stands, and I saw you. I can recognize you from
right. Yeah, I stand out in the crowd, and especially when they're so in my row, there was no fans other than me and the person who bought the second ticket. Obviously, I wrote out to everybody. I was trying to get rid of that other ticket. I did have somebody come by that. Thank you, Jen. She was a great person to watch a game with. She was a big Eagles fan. She was very unhappy about the loss. My eardrum.
No, her eardrum.
Oh, she's probably hurting. She's probably hurting a little bit because I was very loud and exciting. And I got to give a shout out to Dumpy. Dumpy was there. He was right next to me, right next section over. So it was a lot of fun being there.
So we were well represented.
There was a good amount of Eagles fans there. I want to say there was probably a good 300 to 500 of the 5,000, 5,500. I mean, it was hard to really tell because it looked like speckles in the yellow. So they all have yellow seats up there. And I tell you, Pittsburgh is downtown Pittsburgh is really nice. Yeah. And it's
chill spots.
Yeah, it's I was stayed right at the Point. The Wyndham is a fantastic hotel. And
it is a nice city. It is definitely a nice city.
And you could just walk right across the bridge and stuff like that. PNC Park's on the one side. Everybody forgets that the Pirates even play there, but that's okay. It's still a nice stadium. And
they're going through it worse than we are as Phillies fans.
Oh, tell me about it. So, overall, Pittsburgh is just a great spot to go to.
Yeah, I will say though, pandemic or not, Birds fans will forever travel.
Yes,
we will always fly anywhere for our Birds.
Oh, exactly. Like I said, there wasn't the first moment that somebody said that there were tickets out there, I wasn't giving it a chance to anybody else. I'm buying these tickets and I'm going to be out there. I'm going to be loud and proud. And if you heard me on 94 this morning, I got on WIP when Angelo asked for somebody who was at the game. I wanted to tell. I had to say my piece. I was like, hey, I was out there.
How did he treat you?
He treated me pretty good. He asked me, after all that, spending all that money, was it worth it? Absolutely. I will go I'll follow my team to the end. I might be considered a homer, just because I love my team. I'm still real, though. I'm still going to let you guys know exactly how I feel about them when they don't play right. And there's a lot to talk about on this game. Lots to talk about. My first note says, we're back in second place. You know, and I won't talk about first place right now. That'll be a little bit later. But on a winnable game, this game was very, very winnable. And there was a few plays. You know, I feel like their first touchdown, they got an assist by the ref, you know, on that phantom pass interference. However, I feel like that we got the makeup call on the offensive pass interference when we had number 11 scored his like 18th touchdown of the day. It was what a tough day to watch that guy play. You know what I mean? It was
really rough.
I was counting the touchdowns. I'm like, that's 2, that's 3. Will somebody cover him? I mean, I know that Jim Schwartz heard me.
Yeah.
I know that he heard me. I said, hey, Jim, you know, listen, I'm going to get into the numbers in a little bit, but I was yelling at him. I'm like, yo, can somebody cover this guy? Can somebody get on him? Maybe, just maybe, we should pair up with this guy because he's killing us. He's showing us all day long.
Last touchdown too.
Well, oh my, that was the worst defensive play call. You know, they were in dime or nickel package, and then they were a man, and then they went to zone, and that zone just got beat. He saw that zone, and he was happy. He was like, ooh, dancing. I mean, it's like that's Ben in the backfield, just so excited because he saw it, and he couldn't have been more open.
Yeah,
he couldn't have been. I could have jumped out of the stands and tackled him faster than any Eagle player.
Your boy Gary was on him.
Oh my Lord! You know, it's like Gary's good. Gary's good for what he can do. He's a run stopper. Yeah. He's not covering anybody.
Well, we talked about it before. Gary, to me, is a good rotational backer, right? Plays special teams, but he's just not a starting linebacker in the NFL.
Correct.
That's just all it is.
Correct. And I think they have him calling the plays. And that's the reason why he's out there for 100% of the plays. So it's like that's part of the stuff that is a little frustrating because, you know, and how many more times are we going to go? I mean, did he blitz at all yesterday? There was like no blitz. They got close, but that was it.
You will forever believe that all you need is just 4 pass rushers on that defensive line to get pressure, and that's what he will always believe in that.
Well,
it's unfortunate.
Yeah, exactly.
There's the times where you do need to throw some blitzes. You do, especially Ben. We did a solid job of rallying Ben as we could, but he's just so good at getting the ball quick. But he's just not as mobile as he once was. Maybe throwing a blitz here and there. He could have, negated him trying to get the ball out quicker if he could have gotten some extra pressure. But, those are just things that we're going to have to live with. And I love that you put it. This was a winnable game. And it's frustrating because we played well at certain aspects. There's obviously flaws that we're going to discuss later on.
Right.
But this was a game we could have won.
Absolutely.
We could have won this game, and we could have felt so good about it because let's face it, I'm going to say the Steelers are a better team than us. Right now, they are a better team than us currently, and we almost won that game. But again, we just had some mistakes, shot ourselves in the foot like we've been doing a couple times this season. But, guys, the fact of the matter is, like you just said, we are in second place, and all we need to do is just get a couple good wins together, and we're back in this.
Right. So I still have no doubt on my team, especially because the Dallas Cowboys suck. The Dallas Cowboys suck. For whoever keeps posting that, you keep doing that, you're going to get booted off my page. I don't take for that stuff, so I'll knock you off. You better knock it off. Anyways, so I trust me, I'm hot. I am still hot today from what happened yesterday. And let me tell you. So my third note. How about Fulham? Fulham, however you want to say it.
Let me ask. So, what size jersey are you? Because I think I'm about to get some Fulham jerseys.
But extra large. I can imagine they got a bunch of 13s that they just got to take the stitching out of the one.
You got an Aguilar one.
The other.
Aguilar on
exactly.
On there. No, but like Philly sports guy. The thing is like he came out of nowhere and he was reaching for balls. He was actually working to get these catches, and he wasn't stopping the first quarter, no catch. And then he explodes for these 10 catches, 152 yards, and a touchdown. My God, we finally got a receiver. How long has it been since we've had a receiver?
And you know what? It's just good because he actually runs the routes. Yes. He actually makes small adjustments in the routes to be able to get away from the guy who's covering
him. He's got heart, and that's what you really want. Especially here in Philly, we like our guys with heart, and he's got heart.
And I was listening to him. I listened to him do his press conference last night. And he was saying how him and Carson, before practice and after practice, get together and do a bunch of different stuff. just to run different routes and work on timing and things like that. And those are the types of things that have to happen.
Yes.
So when they're working one-on-one, there's a reason why he kept going back and forth to him, because they've been putting in the time together. And that's important. Because
he wants to. He wants to do that.
Exactly. Because then we got our next guy who I'm saying it because here's my notes. Fulgham is legit. Arcega-Whiteside is not.
I will say he had that one catch at the end of the first half, but then his dumbass decided to celebrate a little bit.
So let me tell you.
Run to the ref, give him the ball.
So that was part of the problem. They did not have enough time to be able to call another play. There was just I understood that.
Where were we at that point on the field? Where were we at? 40-yard, 50-yard line?
It was a 47-yard pass, wasn't it? I thought it was something. It was a 37-yard pass. It went down. They made it down to the 12. They made it down to the 12. So it was on our side, the other side of the 50. However, so him celebrating just was like the insult to the injury of the fact that he didn't make it out of bounds.
Yep.
The Hightower didn't go out of bounds on the play before that, where he had the chance to go out of bounds, and he tried to cut it back inside again. Instead of going out of bounds, they had to call the timeout there so that when they made it down to the 12-yard line, they didn't have any more time because there was 6 seconds left. There was never going to be any chance to get down there and spike that ball because it was 37 yards away. So, and I knew it, and he sat there and he did a little dance, which just added the insult to injury. And listen, start catching more balls before you start figuring that you got a chance to go first down. You got to start doing stuff first before you can start to get the respect from anybody telling you that you want to shoot the ball or you could do a little dance that you just made a catch because it was your second catch of the year. Knock it off. Figure out, like I said, all you had to do was run back the play. The fact that you couldn't make it out of bounds wasn't your fault, actually. That's where the ball was thrown. You caught the ball. Just get up, go run to the spot. He figured it out. Like, he danced for 2 seconds and then ran to the spot, but they didn't have enough time.
Fulham, yesterday, did more than JJ did his rookie year.
Yes.
That's wild, guys.
Yes.
Absolutely wild.
So
it's crazy, man.
Also, I listened again this morning. I listened to Doug's press conference.
He got ripped this morning.
He did get ripped this morning, and he was angry this morning. He was angry, and he was angry last night. He was angry. I watched the press conference. I wasn't satisfied with just hearing him today. I went back to last night's press conference too, and I tell you, you want to see Doug angry. I have never seen him that irritated before. He was bitter. He was bitter. He's like, yeah, I got to look at the film. I got to look at the film. Yeah, they were good. That's like he wasn't answering questions. He didn't want to do anything. He was just very, very frustrated. And rightly so. Rightly so. Because it really wasn't his. I feel like so there's a couple of things that I want to talk about with Doug because we've been talking about his play calling. Okay. And he went for 2 when I was like, well, why are you going for 2? Yeah, you're going to go from 11 to 10. Okay, I get it. Or no, from 10 to 9. Mm-hmm. He was going from 10 to 9. And I was like, okay. So when you score the next touchdown, why don't you go for 2 to go from 9 to 8? I don't understand that. I don't understand any of that. So
I guess he's just planning ahead.
Yeah, well, he should have gone for 2 then. He should have gone for 2.
Oh, yeah, that is, yeah.
So, I mean, that's completely ridiculous that he did not do that. So I don't understand why he's doing some of the things he is doing. So
my critique was the Claypool play. Why wasn't there an adjustment being made? You saw Claypool and Gary. Doesn't something in your head light up like maybe I should call a timeout or something, should make an adjustment or something? When Claypool's been killing us, you're going to try to put a linebacker on it?
Well, you know what? So I don't think Doug deals much with the defense.
Someone's got to step up.
I fully blame Schwartz. Fully blame Schwartz. And I tell you what. I said I don't typically talk about how people should gain or lose their job, but there is a new coach that defensive coach that just became available today. And I would be interested. I know it's later in the season. This is not something that you typically do mid-season. But
the Ravens did that with offense, and they won a Super Bowl.
There you go. So maybe it's time. Dan Quinn got fired.
He's pretty damn
Got
good.
fired. And I know that. I mean, he's been to the Super Bowl. He didn't win it.
He won one as a defensive coordinator. Yeah, he won one as a defensive coordinator too.
with Seattle.
Yeah.
With Seattle. So that's my thought. I think that if you were going to be interested in making a change, getting another head coach, I can appreciate that. He would maybe be able to switch some things up. I am tired. I am just tired. I know that the defensive line has gotten the most sacks up until yesterday, obviously, so they didn't get many sacks. They got one early, and that was it. That was the last sack that they had for the day. But I'm tired of the non-blitzing. I'm tired of we just don't care about linebackers.
Yeah.
I'm tired of it. I'm tired of getting beat in the middle. I'm tired of the problems that we have on defense and not being able to transition at halftime. Like the Steelers had the ball for 20 minutes in the first half. They had it.
If you have a good slot receiver, you could probably burn us. So you obviously saw yesterday, Claypool lined up a lot at the slot, and that's when he killed us the most. Remember what game was it? The Bengals game. Tyler Boyd destroyed us from that slot. So if the other team has a solid slot receiver, I get worried in those instincts because number one, those linebackers, like we constantly keep saying, it hurts us. And then, when we're running a lot of man-on-man coverage, that allows, good slot receivers like a Claypool, like a Boyd to just beat the coverage that's on him. So these are definitely concerns that we all have. And a lot of the stuff, yes, a lot of the coaching by Schwartz was bad. But when Slay went down, that did hurt us a little bit.
Yeah, but he went down. So, I saw him go into the tent, and I'm like, what are you going into the tent for? Like, he went into the tent, and then nobody went over to him because he didn't tell anybody he was going to the tent. And then he looked out the thing, and he's like, oh, yes. And then he came running over there. So it was a weird moment. Like, why did you pull yourself out? He looked fine. He went back out there again afterwards, too. So, I mean, who am I to say whether he got injured or not? But
the issue is the lack of development from the linebackers and the secondary players. So, like we just talked about, Gary, Duke Riley's more of a veteran player, but he is what he is too. To me, he's a special team player. But then you got Darwin James, who is your sixth string cornerback, but that's also like you chose him over Rasul Douglas. And I'm talking about the front office. You chose Darwin James to be your sixth cornerback over Rasul Douglas. Now, Rasul had an all right game yesterday for the Panthers, so that always burns a little bit, but combination of Schwartz not being able to call a good game plan on the defensive side, and the fact that Howie's just not giving Doug and Schwartz the players that they both need to succeed with this team.
Right,
it's tough, man.
So that's going to bring us right to inside the numbers, and that's brought to us by Wi-Fly, serving Wilmington. Only $55 a month for internet service, Wi-Fi, gluten-free, awesome internet. So I always start the inside the numbers with Carson Wentz, and I'm going to start with him specifically because I only want to spend a couple minutes on him. Yesterday was not his fault. However, I have to give him a little bit of blame. So his stats were 20 for 35 for 258 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. The first one was a bad one. The second one was a long punt. You know what I mean? That was a punt. The truth of the matter is that they should have knocked that down. It wouldn't have been an interception.
It was that time anyways.
Right. And he got a 75.7 quarterback rating, got sacked 5 times. Here's what I saw. I saw him make some really good passes. I saw him keep the guys moving, and for a little bit of time was able to go in and out of stuff.
Yeah.
But what I do have a problem with is that the wheel route, Sanders on the wheel route was open so many times. On that first interception, the play before, nobody covered Sanders, and he didn't even look at him. The next play, nobody covered Sanders. Sanders was 10 yards away from where he was, untouched, and then you had Ertz, who got a little caught up at the thing and then didn't even – and made the wrong turn. You want to talk about somebody this is where I'm starting to get a little angry, because you're talking about somebody, he's been getting doubled all the time. He's no longer your first option anymore. You cannot look at him. He got a one catch for 6 yards. He got targeted 4 times and couldn't catch the ball. And I tell you, he's getting too blocked off. And that is part of the issue that I have with Carson, is that he's stuck in his ways. And instead of looking for that wheel route that was wide open, not 10 yards away, he's trying to throw it to there. And he wasn't even in the line of sight.
You know what it is? I think it's he likes to find who's hot. So obviously we all know Travis was hot yesterday.
Right.
But I agree that you got to go through your reads. And there were times yesterday where I felt Carson was holding on to, we were still going through those hits that he shouldn't be taking. He was holding on to the ball a little too long at times.
Right.
Now, I will give credit to the Steelers defense. They did bring a good game plan. You know, the Steelers defense, they always run that 3-4, and they always like to do a lot of movement. A lot of linebackers coming in, faking the blitz, or, you know, you have defensive linemen drop back in coverage. And that is great, especially when you're talking about an offensive line that hasn't really played together. There's not a lot of experience there. And you have a Carson Wentz who's shown that he's been rattled at times this season. And Carson, I think he did a solid job with what Pittsburgh was throwing them. Right. This is a good Pittsburgh Steelers defense. And yet, Philly sports guy, Carson, you know, we just look at those numbers, 20 for 35, 2 touchdowns. I will take the 2 interceptions, obviously I won't take, but I will take 20 for 35 and 2 touchdowns with the win.
Right.
So I think
exactly.
So obviously we need to continue, and it sucks that we still need to talk about, we need to continue not taking those hits that you shouldn't be taking. And the accuracy has been an issue as well. Now Travis was balling, but Travis was also reaching for balls that were a little too high. Zach Ertz as well got a couple of high balls, but Ertz, I feel like he should have played a little bit better as well. But those 2 things we still need to shore up, in my opinion.
Right, I agree, and I feel like I said Carson gets a little bit of the blame here, a little bit of the blame. I will say,
blame, yeah.
I will also say, I do not care if I don't see Jason Peters back. Jordan Mailata, I'm gonna talk about my man Jordan Mailata. He gave up 2 sacks yesterday. The first one was a coverage sack. The second one was it was ill-timed. It was ill-timed. He got beat, and it was an ill-timed sack. But that was it. That was the only 2 times you heard his name. He has been playing fantastic. And like I said, as far as I don't care if I see Jason Peters again. I don't see if Jason, it's time for you to be a coach. I wanted you to be a coach last year. I won't, now's the time. Now's the time.
And it's so unfortunate because we went through all that contract issues with Jason Peters. Him not wanting to go over to the left tackle position because he wanted some more money for switching over to that position. And then he does go over there. We got the first couple games from him, and I'm good. I'm good on Jason Peters.
Right. Yeah. I don't really need to see him anymore. So here's the next numbers that I wanted to talk about because, like I said, I'm done talking about the offense now. The offense, well, other than Hightower, I'm not sure what this is.
Oh my God!
I'm not sure what this is.
It was like a throwback to Aguilar.
And I tell you, I understand that you had to run to get that ball, and it was a tough ball to catch. But I don't understand what this is. I just don't get that. That was not a way to try to catch the ball. And it was a little frustrating. So to watch you do that, but I get it. It is what it is. Anyways, the next notes that I have, the Steelers. I misquoted it earlier today on WIP. The Steelers were 11 for 15 on 3rd down. I said it was 12 for 15. So I was really I missed one. I guess they threw the ball. Ben had no incompletions on 3rd down. They had some 3rd and longs. And made them. It was like, what are we doing? I tell you, if there was another 3rd and 4 and 3rd and 5 where they just did a slant route,
that's what they're all about. They're all about getting the ball out of Ben Roethlisberger's hands. Quick screens, slants, curls, all that stuff.
Frustrated me so much. Like, you know what? I would have rather gone to the 4-6 defense. The Buddy Ryan 4-6 defense was the perfect defense for that play. It is the perfect defense for that play. And they went to it 4 times. The same exact play, the same exact pass. 4 times for 1st down. All 4 went for 1st down. I was like, really? I knew the play was coming. I don't get paid to watch these games. I don't get paid to think about it. when the game is over, I'm over it. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you too, because we're on the topic of the secondary. Jalen Mills, what's your thoughts on him?
I love the Green Goblin. So he gets beat on occasion. He does get beat. He's not the 100% the best, but I think that he is probably some of the fire on that team. You know, I feel like he's the only guy that likes to actually hit somebody.
Yes.
You know, beyond the linebackers.
He's got that dog mentality.
Yeah, and it's, you know, he is like a true safety. But like when he goes out to go cover somebody, and like when he has to go to the man, he's not a man-to-man cover guy. You know, and that's part of the problem. We're playing a lot of cover, you know, I mean, man-to-man, and that's where he's not the best. So, and that's why I think he's playing a little out of position.
Yeah, my only issue is when I don't see Jalen Mills playing well, and I see him bickering with the other team. I get it. He is an energy booster for this Eagles defense, but if you're not performing, I need you to perform, and I need you to keep your mouth shut and perform. Yesterday, he was going at it with the Steelers players, skilled players as well. But then you got like Claypool burning him, and the Washington guy burning him as well, and that's when I have my issues with Jalen Mills. But obviously, you know, we love him from the Super Bowl run. At times, you know, he does give you big plays, and he is an energy booster, like I said. But sometimes I need you to just play and let the rest play itself.
Right. And so, and like I said, I'm a big fan of his. I feel he's young still.
Yeah.
He's going to be able. He's transitioning back into this, and he went from a cornerback to a safety.
He might have to go back to safety if we get back healthy again.
And so I believe that he's going to be. I want him back in safety. Actually,
I think Roddy McLeod did not get enough love yesterday. He was in a lot of plays. Like I saw him in the Steelers' backfield. I saw him in a lot of tackles. I don't have the stat here, but on coverage sometimes, yes, he might not be reliable at the safety at times. But there was a lot of plays where I saw Roddy in there.
Well, the guy who got the most tackles, I think, yesterday was
Davon or.
No, it was who were we just talking about? Slay got the most tackles. You know,
a nice hit for the tackle for loss. That was nice.
Yeah, I mean, so he wound up with 8 tackles just did. But when they're making the most amount of tackles, that's not a good thing. That's absolutely not a good thing. You cannot have your cornerbacks being the ones making the most tackles. No. That means there's a lot of, you know, passes being caught. So, and that's I get frustrated that the defense frustrated not being able to get off the field. Their drives, the Steeler drives. One was listed as a 14 play, but I learned today that when there's a penalty called, they don't count that as a play. There was actually 16 plays, 8 plays, 11 plays that only got counted as an 8-play drive, and 9 plays, along with a couple of 6s and 7s. There was not a 3-and-out at all, not one 3-and-out at all. And I think that Claypool scored another 2 touchdowns just while we're talking here a few minutes ago. You know, so like it was literally that frustrating to watch.
It made it look so easy.
You know, it was like the first one he ran it in. It was like, okay, that's again not being able. They finally got it after the 4th end around. That they said, okay, maybe somebody should stay home because we're getting beat on this over and over and over again. I tell you, I love BG. But he got beat on that 3 separate plays, all because he went in. He went towards the ball, and instead of just keeping your lane, you just had to keep your lane. And like I said, I love BG, but you continually getting beat on the same thing over and over again. It becomes too much. It's time to start doing your assignment and not trying to make a better play.
And listen, when we lose, I'm going to criticize Howie and the decisions he's made. So last week we saw Brandon Ayuk have a pretty solid game against us, a rookie wide receiver. This week we get Chase Claypool. Now look, we probably had no chance of getting Claypool. Claypool drafted 4 positions ahead of Jalen Hurts. But it's just like, first off, how does Chase fall that low? Like he had the intangibles in the combines and the workouts. Now Notre Dame, I know, hasn't been good over the past couple of seasons, but that kid, I knew he was going to be something good too because of just the body size that he has, and his hands look strong during the workouts. But like, it just hurts. It just really just hurts when Ayuk does what you did against you. Claypool does what he did against you. Jalen Reagor is hurt right now, which I think Reagor is going to be good. Don't get me wrong. And then, of course, Justin Jefferson is playing pretty solid for the Minnesota Vikings. So it just burns a little bit. I just wanted to point that out there.
No, I keep hearing Jefferson's name all the time.
I think Jalen's going to be the better pro in the long run, but I understand it stings, and haters are going to come out and say, "Oh, we should have drafted Jefferson instead of Reagor."
No, I tell you. So the diamond in the rough that we haven't seen except for one play yesterday is Quez Watkins.
Yeah.
And the moment he got out there, I said, watch him. He's going to blow right past. First play he got out there. The first time they even had him out there. First play, he blew right past the guy. The guy went up on man coverage on him. I saw it. I'm like, watch it. It's going to go to him. It's going to be a touchdown because he's going to blow right past this guy. And had he thrown a better ball, had Wentz thrown a better ball, it would have been a touchdown. He didn't get the reception on it because it was a non-play because they wound up getting a penalty on it because he had to go back for the ball. It was so evident that he should have been out there for more plays. Just running down the field, he was so fast, and burned him so quickly that it was like immediate. The moment he made the move to blow past that guy, he had 2 steps on him. He had 3 steps, stopped, saw where the ball was, came back, ran into the guy to try to catch the ball, and that's how the flag got called. So he was that far ahead of him, and it was right next to me. That happened right in front of me. So I saw that play really well, and I wanted to say, okay, when are we going to have him back out there again? Obviously, we want to have him out there. He stretched the field. They had to start to consider him. They could maybe pull the safety and then have the other guys going on. So it's like that was kind of the stuff that I wanted to see that they did not do. Again, they did not do.
I'll tell you what. Look, if we can somehow at the end of the season wind up with Fulham, Greg Ward as your slot receiver, healthy Jalen Reagor on the other side, your healthy 2 tight ends. Honestly, I think that can help us maybe win 2 games in the playoffs.
I'm not going to go. Let's get there first. So, all right. So we're going to keep moving on because, like I said, I can talk about this game all day long. Around the Horn, and this is brought to us by Philly Sports Trips, and they, of course, have partnered with me, the Philly sports guy, as we're going down to Dallas. It's Week 16, and the way things are shaping up right now, looks like that could possibly be for the division. It's a great Christmas gift. So if you want to go down to Dallas, look up Philly Sports Trips at phillysportstrips.com. Tell them the Philly Sports Guy sent you. And yes, I'm going to start with the first game and probably the most important game for us. Cowboys 37, the Giants 34. And the fact that they scored a lot of points is really secondary here. I really, as much as I hate the Cowboys, I hate the Cowboys.
Hate the Cowboys.
Dallas sucks. But I have to give thoughts and prayers out to Dak Prescott. That real life trumps over football all the time, and I never want to see somebody that was an ugly looking injury. And I really do wish him all the best to be able to get back on the field. I don't think he's going to be able to come back this year, and I hope that it's not one of those situations where just like. He played yesterday. Alex Smith. He got out there yesterday. I'd like to see him be able to get back within a year's time. It's a shame because it's in a contract year. Obviously, they got the franchise tag on him, and this has happened. So it's definitely not something that was worthwhile. And he was putting up the points, but like I said, thoughts and prayers go out to him on a speedy recovery.
Yeah, listen, rivalry aside, you got to look at this as human beings. And Dak went through number one, it was a nasty injury. It was absolutely disgusting. And number 2, you feel for the guy because he was playing well this season, and he was in a contract year. And if he would have kept playing like that, Dallas had no option but to pay him. And look, we always clown him because of we don't think he's that good, but you want to see him get paid. These guys are putting their lives on at risk every week that they're playing the game, so
Right.
you want to see them being compensated for it. So it's definitely unfortunate, but guys, look, put the rivalry aside. You feel for a guy like that. This is absolutely terrible to see yesterday.
Exactly. And to be honest, I would have rather beat them with Dak
Oh yeah.
than without Dak.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because
You
I
wanna see-
have no faith in their other quarterback.
But you want to see Carson and Dak play because number one, it's it's exciting as hell to see, but number two, it's good for the rivalry.
Right.
Seeing these two good quarterbers playing off. against each
Exactly. Now we'll have the Redhead Bowl.
other. We'll see what Dolan can do because I think people are writing him off.
It'll be the Redhead Bowl. Anyways, so moving on. Third win in a row
Matt Rule.
for Matt Rule.
See you, baby.
Panthers 23. The Falcons with now no coach. They fired the coach. Dan Quinn is
Saw that
gone. Dan Quinn is gone, and that's
Well, I was saying before the game, if they Falcons lose and they don't fire Dan Quinn, there's literally something wrong with that franchise.
So, and that's why I also believe that maybe it could be time to be able to move on from our defensive coordinator because they said I think that Dan Quinn he's a fiery guy and he could put the fire back into the defense.
He could definitely coach a defense. Just don't allow him to be anywhere near time management.
Right.
Don't
No.
give that to him.
He's worse than Andy Reid on that. So, and then how about this one? And I have to give one out to my girl Ashley, who she picked this game, and she has got like 70% on picking NFL games, and she got ridiculed for doing this, but Miami 43, the 49ers 17, and she called it. She said that bet money with the points and outright that Miami was going to win that game, and she wasn't lying. They spanked them badly.
I will say, it seems like this Flores-led Dolphins team, they kind of start slow. Like this year, they weren't winning right off the bat. Last year, they were an embarrassment in the beginning, but they slowly turned it around. Maybe they're slowly turning around here.
Maybe
makes it an exciting AFC East. I think every football fan like to see that.
Right. Actually, they'd like to see somebody other than the Bills look a little bit legit. So.
And shouts out to McDermott. Love the McDermotts.
Yeah, we got a big Tuesday night football game, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So, and then, of course, the Washington football team lost to the Rams. The Rams so far have owned the NFC East.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
They should crown them the champs. The NFC East.
Yeah, well, luckily we get to still win that. And, of course, the Vikings actually played great last night. Thought that they were going to do something spectacular, be able to pull that game out. And Russell Wilson, it's the reason why he will probably be the MVP this year. He will probably be the MVP. He's just playing fantastic. Comes back after getting beat up. He was getting sacked left and right in the first half. And he was able to come back in the second half. After not scoring, it was the first time that they hadn't scored all, in any quarter.
How about DK Metcalf?
Yeah, well, I don't need to talk about him anymore. I hear about him enough. So they won 27-26. So, and then, like I said, that's all the games that I really cared about. I know that there were other games on the docket. The Browns won. The Jacksonville Jaguars won. Romeo Cornell. I want to give a shout out to Romeo. 78 years old, or I think he's only 73 and 73 and a half. And he was the oldest coach to ever win a game in the NFL. And then he danced in the locker room. So, God bless him that he's still out there and still doing it. And, of course, now we're at Looking Ahead, which is brought to us by King Creative. You want your story to roar, go to the Blue Lion, King Creative. Every story has an audience. We got the Baltimore Ravens. And I did. My cousin, who may or may not be watching this, is a huge Ravens fan. He lives in Delaware, not too far from where we're at here. And he's a huge diehard Ravens fan. And I can't understand it because his father was the biggest diehard Eagles fan. But I figure I'm going to be. I don't talk.
Oh my God, we got a Ravens fan here.
Oh, look at this. We got another. Yeah. So we're gonna start beating up the Ravens already today because realistically, so the Ravens are, of course they're 4-1. Our all-time record against the Ravens is at 500. We played them 5 times, 2 wins, 2 losses, and a tie.
Freaking tie. What's with the Eagles and these freaking ties, man?
Ties to the NFC or the AFC
North. Yeah.
So,
and this will be the first time we face off against Lamar Jackson. Ravens fans, don't forget to thank us for Lamar.
so Lamar Jackson. So I did a little research on Lamar Jackson, and he leads the lead team in rushing and, of course, passing. 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and they rush for a total of about 160 yards a game. So that's going to be an interesting thing to do.
Luckily, we're not too bad at stopping the run.
Right, that was not
it's
too
the big
bad.
plays that are killing us.
Correct. So, but their defense is actually they're number 1 in points in the NFL right now, only allowing 15.2 points per game, and they're a +5 in the turnovers.
They're pretty damn good.
So, but here's the worst thing to hear about the Ravens. Their leading receiver is a tight end who has 5 touchdowns, 5 receiving touchdowns so far this year. There's 4 different receivers who each have 1. He's got 5 receiving touchdowns. And, of course, he's a tight end, which puts him right in where our weakness is.
That concerns me because we just got done talking about how bad these linebackers were. Now, Eric Ebron played okay for the Steelers. Now, he's not going to kill you ever. But we saw Higbee. Who the hell is Tyler Higbee? Destroys for 3 touchdowns against the Rams. So the thing is that this running game for the Ravens is really lethal. You're talking about Lamar Jackson, probably the best running quarterback in the NFL. You still got J.K. Dobbins. You still got Mark Ingram. They do a lot of misdirection stuff that doesn't bode well for our defense. But if you find a way to shut down this run game, then you just got to worry about the pass game. So, but the thing is, we haven't faced a run game this season this deadly as the Ravens have.
Right.
That's a little bit concerning. But I think after what we saw last week for the Sports Guy, I don't feel – like a couple of weeks ago, I would have been like, yeah, I'm scared shitless playing the Ravens. But I feel a little bit better. I feel like we have a chance in this game here.
Well, I think that we do as well. I tell you, this is going to be a tough challenge.
Luckily we're at home, right?
We're going to find out tomorrow whether we're going to have fans in the stands. And I think that little bit, whether it's 5,500, whether it's 10,000, whether it's like a couple hundred, that's going to make a big, big difference. It's going to make a big difference. I know they heard me yesterday. I know that they were listening to me. I tell you, even a ref told me, gave me a like not a nod. He like kind of blew me off or something like that. I watched him do it. I'm like, yeah, ref, I got something for you too. You know what I mean? Because I know you guys heard me on the broadcast. Get him, because it seemed like I was the only one yelling when when Steelers were on offense, and they were on offense all the time. Yeah. So anytime you heard stuff, it came from me. It sounded like, because I was the only one screaming.
I will say on that note, I think from the 2 sporting events I watched yesterday where we saw fans, so obviously the Eagles and the Steelers, and that night I watched the Philadelphia Union face off against Montreal Impact, our soccer team. Both games I saw go smoothly. That's obviously me watching it from TV. But obviously you were there. And it seemed like everyone was doing their part. And I think that in Philly, we'll see the same thing. You had a whole row to yourself.
Yes.
And so I think that if we can follow those rules, I think we should be able to have a game. My concern is outside the stadium because you guys know here in Philly, we do tailgates a little bit different. So that's the key.
They're not. So there was no tailgating there.
Okay.
There was no tailgating. Yeah. No. You had to have a ticket to get in.
That's what I think we're gonna have to do.
That's going to be the way that it'll be. If they're going to have this, if they're going to have fans in the stands, it's going to have to be. You're going to be able to come down and have to go in and just do your thing.
But I think it can work in Philly.
I agree, and I think that Kenny is a
little scared right now.
Is going to have to do this. He watched it how well things went ahead in Pittsburgh. They were very on it in Pittsburgh. You saw the mask I was wearing. That was good.
Yeah, the Andy Reid 2.0.
Yeah, I did. Because I wasn't going to wear my mask because then you wouldn't hear me. And I'm like,
smart.
No way to do that. I just went and got one and decorated it up a little bit and stuff like that. So
it was nice.
And of course we're here at our shout outs. And the first shout out I got is because my man right here was he was running Latino night for the Union.
Sir.
And they gave him
to the Philadelphia Union.
And they gave him a win. They gave him a big win against Montreal put him back into second place.
Maybe
So,
made the Eagles' loss a little bit easier.
yeah, a little bit easier
Little
for
bit
you. I mean,
easier.
it was tough. He knew he was coming here today, so he got to talk about it a little bit. But the fact that the Union, was able to pull that off for them, kudos to them. I know that we give them shout outs every time. That's the other football team in Philly, but they're doing their
Hey,
job.
when the Sixers and Flyers come back, we'll throw some shout outs to them as well. And Phillies. It's hard right now. It's a little dark times with the Phillies, but we'll talk about that as well.
Exactly. We're Philadelphia boys, so
Yes,
we
sir.
definitely do our thing. You know what I mean? So, and do you have anything else going on so far this week, or?
No, we're just keep going with the Duke by the River podcast. We're gonna continue doing that. I'm gonna try to set up some Instagram lives this week, and just continue staying up with the Eagles, all Philly sports. You know what it is, guys. Keeping up with the TikToks as well.
Yeah,
Just trying to stay busy. That's all you can do these days.
Yep, I've been getting a lot of love/hate on TikTok. Lots, all them Steelers
Pittsburgh,
fans.
look what you created.
All them Steelers fans still crying about the fact that I was saying something. Just whatever. Like I said, get your defense right if you want to be able to compete in the playoffs, because the Chiefs got a good defense, the Ravens got a good defense, and you aren't going to be able to score as many points on those defenses.
Sure.
So
Wait, so before we sign off here, let me get that prediction, man.
for next week,
Yeah.
oh, see, it's a little early in the week for me to make this prediction. I think that Quez is going to make a surprise next week. I'm saying Quez is going to get his first touchdown, and I think that the Eagles will get if they have fans in the stands, there could be a surprise win. I feel that they're going to start off this 3-game set. They have 3 games at home in a row. And see, also, this is where I also want to get, because it's my birthday is coming up here, and Sunday is a game. My birthday's on Tuesday, and then Thursday's a game. And so I'm a little torn on when I'm going to throw my birthday party.
Okay. You're just gonna party all week, aren't you?
Well, I party all the time anyways, but it's, I am thinking that we're going to have my birthday party for the Giants game.
Okay.
So, because Sunday birthday parties aren't the best, I'd rather have a Thursday night birthday party. So, but that being said, I'm going to be celebrating my birthday on Sunday because it's close to my birthday and it's the closest weekend to my birthday. So it's going to be like a birthday party for me. So, and I'm hoping to be there at the game. I'm going to do whatever I can to try to be there at the game. And if I'm there at the game, I feel that the Eagles will pull it out for me. And it's going to be a very close game. And it's going to be a lower scoring game than we think, because we're going to be able to contain them in terms of the running. I'm going to say it's going to be a 23-21 game. Eagles.
23-21.
And not Birds. Eagles.
So I think, like last week, I thought there was going to be a low-scoring game, the Steelers game, and clearly I was wrong there. I think there's going to be a good amount of scoring here. I think I'm going to go with the narrative that there's going to be a good amount of points in this game. Defense has to step up. The defensive line, we've been relying on them a lot this year. We're going to need another big game from those guys there. If we can find a way to somehow slow this running game down, I think the Eagles are going to win this game. Carson is going to step up here as well. I'm going to say we're a 27-24 game. Eagles.
So close nonetheless, but
I think it's going to be close. Like these are some good teams here. Eagles are slowly starting to figure it out. I think it's going to be a close one.
And then you Steelers fans all you haters could thank me afterwards for beating that team. So because you guys then you guys got to do whatever you got to do. I don't know who you guys play, Sister Mary of the dead somewhere. But and then of course tonight the game's probably just about to get started here. You have the Chargers and the Saints, and then of course we have Tuesday night football, which is also so Chargers and the Saints. Saints given 7 points. The over under is 50. I'm a fan. I think the Saints win this going away, and I would say so. Take them with the points, giving up the points, and then the over/under being 50. I take the over.
Okay. I want to say the Chargers are going to get a win here because they feel like they've deserved it. They are a team where you lost Austin Eckler. You got a rookie QB who's actually playing pretty solid right now for the Chargers. But I just think that the Saints will find a way to get this win. It'll be like a 21-17 type of game. I think the Chargers will be in there at the end, but the Saints will find a way to pull away. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun Monday Night Football game.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that close. I think it's going to be 35-20 or 30.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, like it's going to be.
They're going to kill Herbert.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think that the Saints are going to really just crush them. And then, of course, for Tuesday Night Football,
That's a good one.
you got Bills versus the Titans, and then the Bills are given 3.5 points, and Titans are a home dog. And I tell you.
Oh, sure. Well, they got all those code people missing out, right? Code
Yeah, so I'm not sure exactly how that's going to play out, but their quarterback and their running back are in, which make me think that I wouldn't be surprised if there's an upset. You know, I don't think that the over-under in this game is 53. I take the under, and I take the Titans. I just think that the Titans are going to pull this one out.
Okay.
So
I think the Bills, I think they continue this run that they're on. I think that Allen has been playing like he's been MVP-like numbers if you look at it. I think that they'll continue the rolling on here.
Right, well, so and it's very possible. The Bills are a good team. Yeah. They are legit, and they're going to be able to compete here. They're going to be able to get to the Final Four on the AFC side. I don't know if they'll make it to the NFC or the AFC Championship game.
If there's one AFC team I'll root for this, it'll be the Bills, just because of McDermott. That's all.
Gotcha. Well, I don't root for any other team other than the Birds, so that's all I care about. Yeah, but I do have a couple of friends who are Bills fans, so I am happy for you guys. You know, I'm happy for the fans. I don't care about the team. But anyways, just a quick shout out to all of our sponsors. You know, again, thank Tonic for having us again. Y-Fly, Philly Sports Trips, and King Creative. Again, thank you so much for taking care of us as we take care of you guys and get to share this. And like I said, week 5 is in the books. You know, I want to talk about a win next week. I think we deserve to talk about a win next week.
That'd be a huge win. It's a huge win.
Yeah, exactly. It's time. It's time for us to start to turn it up. We're only little bits and pieces away. I feel like that we're only small things away. Some of those small things are big, but it's like they're big when they don't happen. Yeah. We just got to make them happen. But it's time. I want to talk about a win, so I'm excited.
Carson Wentz, no interceptions, please. That'd be great.
Yeah, exactly. Calm down on the interceptions. We don't have to throw. I know you're number 1 in the league in that stat, so we don't have to do that anymore. But let's go, Birds. Yes, we're going to do it now. It's time to turn it on. And like I said, now that they're letting fans back in there, you're going to hear me loud and proud. It's time to show Eagles love. Go, Birds. Yeah. Have a good night, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.